It's Sunday morning and we're going just over there to go to the Green Acres chocolate farm. This is one of the best eco tours you could do, so it's truly worth a watch.
You and me, we're family. The bond that we share is as deep as the sea. No matter how rough things may come to be, you and me, we're family. Sing ho, hey, along for the ride. Ho, hey, I'll stay by your side. Ho.
We are heading off from Isla Bastimento down to Isla Cristobal, and we're going to Dolphin Bay, and there is Gary's chocolate farm. We're going to anchor out tonight, and then tomorrow at 10 we're going to go on a tour, so we're really excited about that, and we've heard lots of good things about it. So from Isla Bastimento it took about 2.5 hours, just sort of tootling along about 5-6 knots. So this is us kind of just coming up to the anchorage by Green Acres farm, Gary's chocolate farm.
And we're going to pick some bars of chocolates off trees, apparently, because that's what chocolate farms are all about. The bay that we're anchored in is so tranquil. There's dolphins around and loads of wildlife, and we're going to see how they make chocolate from cocoa beans.
We were soon to find out that this eco tour would teach us far more than just about how to make chocolate.
What's up, dude?
Good.
You're gonna be trouble, huh? No, you have to be good to get chocolate, right?
The reputation precedes, didn't it?
What's your name, buddy?
Ewan.
You. I started plant rehab in 2002 because I was panicked, Dari, about the state of the environment.
Yeah.
Right now, things are, you probably know they're not very good, right?
Yeah.
So when I was in California, I lived in a place called San Dimas, and we turned our backyard into an animal sanctuary. Do you like animals, Ewan? We had 350 animals in our backyard.
Whoa.
37 species of birds, and a grumpy alpaca, his best friend Buddy the goat. You can read about them on Amazon Kindle if you want. I wrote a children's story about them called Benjamin's Gift. 91% of the destruction of the Amazon rainforest is to grow crops for animal agriculture. So we started doing plant-based food festivals.
Woody's trying the fruit of a katook, and then he's going to see whether it's edible. The katook is delicious, isn't it? Did you try the katook? It's really good. More protein.
It has 10 times more protein than spinach. Superfood! Snip off a piece like this, stick it in the ground, and you have food. So I felt like I needed to do more. And we know that the areas that are most important to protect as far as terrestrially are rainforests, especially equatorial rainforests. You guys know that, right? So I just wanted to help protect the rainforest. So welcome to my home, and it is an absolute joy to live here, and I know 1000% that this is where I'm supposed to be. This is 350 years old.
Wow. This is such an interesting tour, and this guy knows so much. He's just a legend.
Together, Cayuco!
Cayuco.
Red ginger.
Red ginger.
So the needles on the trunks of these trees are what the natives used to use years ago for spears. They rub it on the back of the poison dart frog, which we saw earlier, and use that for hunting.
And this is called the resurrection tree. I think it's completely different. It's probably about maybe 6 times bigger than that. Her web is so strong that they actually make the Kevlar bulletproof vest out of the web of the golden orb weaver.
Wow.
This is called cardboard palm. It's a type of cycad. So we have 3 different types of cacao. We have about 2,500 cacao trees. So blueberries have lots of what?
Is it?
Antioxidants, very good, very good. But these have 10 times more antioxidants than blueberries. They also have theobromine, which kind of gives you that lift, but doesn't drop you the way the caffeine does. Okay, where does the cacao tree come from? It comes from Central America, Mexico, that area. It has to be equatorial, so it cannot be cold at all, and it has to be very hydrated, right? This size here, look at the little ones over here. There's really tiny ones. There's some buds that are just getting ready to flower, and look at this one. This one is almost big enough to harvest. It just needs to change colors.
So on this farm, yeah, they just pile up all the husks of the chocolate, and that really attracts the frogs. The frogs love it.
I'm sorry? To ferment, you need a sugar, and so it's the fruit that is what it is that starts the fermentation process. For 1 week, we'll stir it every day. After the first 48 hours, we'll stir it every day. And this is already ready to go. So tomorrow, when the boys come to work, they'll take this and they'll move it into the drying beds. So they'll be in the drying beds anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months. Depending on how much sun we have. So you can tell these ones have been there drying a little bit longer than these. Basically what we want to do is we want to reduce the moisture content to about 5%. So after they're dry, then we'll go over to Casita Cacao. This is a propane tank that he converted to a roaster. So we will roast, we do a medium roast, so we'll roast for about 55 minutes at 290 degrees, and that gives us a nice medium roast. And we'll cool them down in the resting bed, and then we'll move over to our meat grinder. So why do vegetarians have a meat grinder? Because this is how we grind up our roasted cacao. So to grind them all up, we need to separate. There's a shell on the outside, and you don't want the shell when you make your chocolate. So how do we separate? Well, the inside, the nut is called nibs. Everybody say nibs?
Nibs.
Right. So the nibs are heavier, so we'll put a bucket here to capture the nibs. And then this is connected to that vacuum cleaner. And so the shells will be sucked up, and they'll end up in this chamber right here. That's how we separate them. Then we take the nibs, and this is our cornmeal grinder. And we'll put the nibs through here 15 times. And after 15 times, it's no longer solid, it is a liquid. So do you want to know the technical term?
Yeah.
It's a Willy Wonka magical chocolate river. So then we'll take our Willy Wonka chocolate river, and we'll use molds that look like this, and each one of these makes a ½ pound of chocolate. So here's something for your test. Are you ready? Each cacao pod has about 40 fruits in it. It takes 40 full cacao pods to make 1 pound of chocolate.
Wow.
So quite a lot of resources to make chocolate, and it's quite a bit of labor as well. So now we have shells, we have nibs. And nibs. We put them in salads, we put them in baked goods, or you can just eat them by the handful. And they're super delicious, and they're very, very healthy.
One thing we did not expect to see in the trees here was a sloth.
almendro tree is one of the most important trees in Central and South America because over 1,000 organisms depend on a single tree. Over 100 species of birds, and there's a huge green parrot that's called the great green macaw that will only nest in the almendro tree. The almendro tree actually begins the canopy of the rainforest, so it's always going to be the tallest tree that you see. And it lives for hundreds of years. When chainsaws came around, guess what happened to all the almendro trees?
Oh, those are cut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because these are termite resistant, so that makes them incredibly popular for construction. So the tree that's dying will voluntarily give up the rest of its nutrients to help the rest of the rainforest. So we have altruistic trees. The mother tree will also send chemical messages to its babies to help its babies to survive. I find this very interesting. If you read up on the almendros, it says you're supposed to plant them 26 feet apart, and yet look at these guys. And if you were here a year ago, you would not have been able to see the forest floor because we had so many saplings. Some of them were already 6 feet tall. Alex is only a year and 11 months old. Now, Alex joined the tour when he was almost as tall as I am. And look how much he's grown.
Yeah.
And we know that plants respond to touch, they respond to sound. So I think the reason that Alex towers over all of his siblings is because every day people tell him how beautiful he is. We have planted 4,667 endangered almendro trees in 7 islands and 4 areas on the mainland. Now, by the time the program is 10 years old, our goal is to actually bring back the critically endangered great green macaw.
Without a doubt, it was Gary that made this tour so incredible.
It's chocolatey.
So we've just had a great tour, and just as we were leaving we saw a tarantula hawk, which is a kind of a insect of some type that actually eats tarantulas, which is usually the other way around, which is unusual. But yeah, it's been a fantastic tour, and actually meeting Gary and seeing his lifestyle here is just as interesting as seeing the rainforest. So yeah, we've had a great morning, and now we're going to head back to the boat.
Gary's knowledge, enthusiasm, energy, humour and absolute dedication to care for our planet is truly inspirational. Thanks for watching, and a massive thank you to our patrons for keeping this journey going. If you want to give something back and want to be a part of our patron family, then follow the description in the link below, or put Mothership Adrift Patreon and that should send you to the right link. You can become a patron from as little as $3 and you can be in contact with us directly. Thank you.
You and me, we're family.
And finally, don't forget to subscribe and also check out our other channel which is dedicated to fixing your boat, called Mothership Maintenance.
Hey, you'll always be alright by me, yes you are.